Taniba, Tela Sobapa, la Nise, oh, Tati, Shijatamja Soshiba, Kunjing in Bakabasuda, Shijatamje, Jignan Nelu Longula Sobatama, Soshan Battle, Kunji Sigres, and Jignan Cheba, but the Kunji Rese, Cigarati Pakabacha. Tamje Nelu Chidarna Bangusum do Kimba Kunji to Trubas. Kunji Sene, Longdor Gene, Shije Neta, Longdor Gene, Otazu Chitawashindo, Kimusum do Kimbatalia, Kunji stressed to go around look. Tatabu Shija Tamje Soshaba Kunji to Kakutalia, and it Tamje Gicheba Onju Kingoka. Shija Tamje Soshaba Kunji said, how long you chambutabute? And they Jigdangi Chebabore, Jigdangi Nelu Longula Soba Tamje Chepabore, Chasing Gresana, Soshing Gresana, oh, Tipa Kagiora. Tamje Chebabo Juking Okaba to Jikawas, Mo Tagba in Bereda, Mo Metabares, Tendreche, and it Pakagiora. Tambu Tamje Chebabo Onjuking O Kagbatile, Tagba in Bakaba, Medava Kagba Yingudo. Tatambo. Tagba in Bakabati Ungudo. With Tibet Chilamna Rose. Corandation and the wicked.
We're on the topic of, in the outline, of disposing of objections to that. I guess we have to say what that is. The purpose of saying has become. Yeah. So first, refuting the idea that someone who knows how to create all knowledge objects is omniscience, creating and knowing everything about, what do you say, the the reality of the world, and proving it as omniscient, the one who knows by perception how all knowledge objects really exist. That first part then is refuting the idea that someone who knows how to create all knowledge objects is omniscient. And this is divided into refuting the idea that the nature of God is such that he is the maker of all knowledge objects, and refuting the proofs of a creator God's existence. So refuting, so the first one then was refuting the idea that the nature of God is such that he is the maker of all knowledge objects. And this is divided into refuting the idea that he is here, that refuting that the idea that the nature of God is such. So the nature of God is usually referred to that he is either permanent, or in some cases they say impermanent. So here, so then this section is divided into refuting the idea that he is permanent, and then refuting the idea that he is impermanent.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah. Oh, Tatambu Onju Tagba Yimbakagiora, Tagbaran Jungi Semeki Yimbakagua. Tamje Cheba Onju Tini, Tagbaran Jungi Semeki Yino, Shenaseta, Onju Kele Getu, Onju de Tagbare, Semeki Bure, Tamje Soshibe, Kunjire. Yina ko karsora tagba rangjure tambu nine rangjunge ne tamje soshimbe kunjire mato gyudan ken kombala tene ane tagba rangju semeki bukurwa marese gora o tilya tamje ge chebabo onju teni tagba rangjunge semeki bu ino sena odi mares pakaba chigdo dabat lakshan tambu
The first assertion then is that is as follows: that God, who is the maker of all knowledge objects, is an authoritative person who is permanent and self-originated. So the idea, the quality, the attributes of this created God is that he's a maker of all, of everything that can be known, is a authoritative person, and is permanent and self-originated. Although this section is specifically titled Refuting the Idea that he is permanent. That's
Oh yeah, that's the kari tsawa the tsawa digi kagyora. Sama takba nyi me ngoye takba tsechirna. Shija meda pa nyi ki teni meda nyi chiro shibe sholo ka chibu digi. Ni wanju takba ranjungu chame kibu yinba kagdwa. Tichilamna.
The root verse then refutes this idea of a permanent God. There cannot exist a permanent authority because an authority cognizes existent entities, and because since knowledge objects are impermanent, that authority is unstable. I think that's probably as far as it goes, but it has the whole verse here. Because things that arise successfully cannot be accepted to arise from a permanent entity, and because it is unsuitable that a permanent entity depend on conditions. Also.
Sama takba nyi me ngoye takba che shijim demi. Oda onju chochen sigora. Kyo sama takba nyi do yoba mimbar tarse, sama takba nyi min sedera. Kyo tene tamje soshinbe, sama takba nyi do yoba ma mimbar tar. Kyo yina yungobu yoba takba sama imbe kepe eche sido. Ngoye takba chechir tanga sedera. Onju yina sama takba nyi do yoba ma ide, ene kyo yina se, onju de yina se, yungobu yobar tobe sama imbe kyabe echis. Yungobu tozu kanga yoba tobe sama rawa se gora. Ene kyaba yode yungobu yoba tobe sama yina, ene tongenge sama de medaba yingu rese, imbe kyabgu rese gora. Kyaba yode Yeshe jan medaba yinba nyiji kyamna, tenjege sama dene medenba nyi yingu bechis. Yeshe de medaba yingi kyamna, te tongenge sama de medenba yingu rese. Karesana sheja ngobo de gashi nambashar, gashi mashar, yan sarba jilemna ti nambashar, mashar, yan kashe to kashe saba to tendechidu, sheba telon gyuro yoku rese. Yudin gyundu duzane, sheba de nambashaya yudin gyundu du, sheba nambate gyurgu rese gara. Dibati chulana.
The response to this assertion then is it follows that God cannot exist as a permanent authority because whatever is him necessarily would be an authority that cognizes objects that are existent as entities. The reason pervades the predicate because since objects that are knowledge objects are impermanent, that authority that comprehends them necessarily is unstable. Here, the Ganagi Sheba, what it's saying here is that once objects are coming in and out of existence, sometimes existing and some disappearing, sometimes being produced, and then the mind that cognizes those objects has to also sometimes exist, sometimes not exist, sometimes, and so then it also is subject to the impermanence and change that the objects are.
다 상계지 손럽을 토참바 강다식도 상계 손럽을 야테네 지 가서래 소소 남도 교환가 쉐바께는 가지면서 쉐바께 와서거라 상계지 손럽을 토참바 내가ချင်း강다식거라 디다게 타게베 참마 딱바까바 인지세 참마 남도게 참마 딱바 니면 뭐 또바 세지나 시점이다 바니 telемеда ничего шебала согбе ene 딱바 세메기 부까야 돼 타니베 참마 타니 똑베 참마도 딱바 임바도 까요래서 거라 단단바 똑베 참마데 딱바 임바 까요 말에 셰서와니 셰서비도 세라 티질람나를 담보 거지람
Here, some presumptuous commentators on the Buddha's scriptures say that this verse refutes a permanent conventional authority, but does not, a permanent conventional authority, but does not refute a permanent ultimate authority. Here, they're making this distinction between conventional authority and ultimate authority. That's a
다들 갖고 지겨라. 이신서로네. 딱방 곡베 남샤 중세장 마착베 땀데세. 때 딱바 가두산 가르까기요래. 때 리베게 남샤데 리베게 도단데 야부 마신베 땀레세겨라. 딱방 곡베 남샤 중세장 리베게 도단데 중세장 마착바레세. 람 중세장 마착베 땀레세겨라. 가레스네 타니베 세마인베 딱바 요나 타니에 똑베 로리아 세마지 요베 이나시거라 아니 때 딱바레 응어버레 세마인베 줄겨레시거라 땅땅의 세마줄로레세 때에나 깜데 때 땅의 세마지 요나 아니 땅의 세마지 요나 깜데네 셰베 아니 세마테다 저랑게 던담바 똑베 세마 아니 딱바 ingöbo yeshe ni le chaba karindu ti chaba yo mare songora chöndebe tandambe samani la tandamda tanyegi chebare chido somshi ese tandam tokba ina samade takba ingöbo ina de yo mara kuzu tokba ina samade takba ingöbo ina de yo mara tingil chaba cheya ke yo mare segora ya songudwa
tandamba dan tanyegi kebade
그 타니 떡베 세마데 딱바임바 까기요레스 거라 돈담 떡베 세말이야 딱바 까고 마레스데 딱바 요레스 거라 어디 타니베 세마 딱바 요나 딱바인게 뭐보인게 세마 요고레스데 까기요레스라 돈담베 세마 딱바시네 딱바인게 뭐보인게 세마 요고레 딘디네셰게 까예데 티레마도 티멤바 까요 마레스 거라
So the author then refutes this position, says, this is an opinion whose proponents have not the slightest mastery of the logical system that refutes permanence. If there exists a permanent conventional authority, then that authority is permanent. If that is the case, then you must consider what ultimate or conventional distinction is there between that permanent conventional authority, that is the object of refutation here, and the ultimate authority asserted by you? Once it's an authority, then it's if it's permanent, then it's refuted whether you say it's ultimate or conventional. No.
Oh yeah, that echo. Kunji Chidanko Karsore. Tendam usum to talk with some of the talk by Yeshe, some get big Kabayora, Kunji Chonambasa, and it under Kunji Korambasa, or Tazuko. Tendam talk with some of the Tartosona, and a talk by Yeshe, some Bayora. Yeah.
Here, this is an idea that is put forward by the Jonangpa sect in Tibet, and also by the Sakya scholar Goramba, that there is this idea of a permanent ultimate authority. There is such a thing as a permanent ultimate authority.
No, yeah. That didn't matter. That make me or never nase. Make the mayor never na. So rimgin zinyanse. Mila cheba mendra chebar meba tarsera. Sheja medagbe onjuge sheba midemba yinya. Shebra cheba bu onju tagba yin oshena tan kaji deba kugdwa. Kaji karsigdosa. Make the mayor never na. So rimgin zingire sugora sug. Sugrajina Panjan ko ringi tongirwa. Make the Miyako Tawa there Sigora. Melondajin Shego in the Tiani Shegun, Mirachin Rosana Panjan to Shego Jureke or Marisigora. Oh, and they Mig Mayor Nebana, so rimgin zinyanse. Mila Cheba Mendrawe, Kebar Meba Taruse. Sheja Medagbe, Onjuge Sheba Medemba, Niyas. Shecha Medagba Sonza, Onjuge Sheba de Medemba Insena degree sera. Sheba Sheba Onju Kora, Tagbare, Tagbara Jungu Semeki Burese. Onjuge Sheba de Medagba Insena degree segura. Tende Labnase, Shenase.
So if you have, there's another assertion here then, where what's said is that an eye which remains motionless apprehends forms successively. The function of the eye does not change into something dissimilar. Just so, knowledge objects are impermanent and God's cognition is unstable, but he himself is a permanent cognizer God. So you have this assertion that the mind doesn't change, okay? That you have the visual consciousness, the apprehending this succession of forms going through impermanent, going through change, and but the then they're saying that the eye doesn't change; it's just like watching, and so just so then knowledge objects are impermanent, and God's cognition is unstable, but he himself is a permanent cognizer God. That
This one, yeah. Tatila pa kapachik doa. Til digi marese. Sheba bonju takba yin. Sheba de medakba yin sena. Tegi marese doa. Mete bares. Kares na. Sawa dire. Tandi sawa. Rimse kyawa chantane. Tali kyawa mete chirse. Toba miron waye chirse. Tigi pa kapachik yora. Kandes kapachik yora sena. Onju ge sheba chuchen sigora. Onju ge sheba de samlo de onju le tane ke ko re sigora. Onju ge sheba chuchen onju takba le kyawa member tha. Ngaji rimba shindu kyawa chanda imbe chirse. Onju ge samlo de sheja re chuchen panje chi ki yuna o tate te sam shidu san yu rim ge medaba jwala soba to de sheba de ge ako gyuadu yore sigora. Tidyad kare onju korang kansa korang samlatane tede samlatane ne gyuadu yora. Ne kansa korang takba ina tige dene samlatende menda sheba de menda ngo youtube ge mari ke to mare sigora. Gyu takba chi ko tende nga kansa takba ina ne samlo mendra ta ni lega mendra chete yong ma re se gora ya da wonju onju ge sheba chhe onju takba le kewa member thar se gora nga ji rimba shin de kewa chen da imbe onju ge sheba de pa je rimba je ko ki re se ra ane takba ge debu ki ge na ko tuchik du ke gora ane ke na tuchik du ke gora ma ke na name ki ge mare kare takba de ko ju ina ko jurto re ho mara debu ke so na chi juro chen ke gora debu ma ke na ko ma ke be kap te takba re shi tu ta do ma ke be kap da ta ur ma de tambu ma ke be che ma ke ban re yo mare takba ina o de ko onju ge sheba che onju takba le ke wa me bar ta nga ji rimba shin de ke wa chen da yin be shi se rimshi ke wa chen da ne ta le ke wa me te shir se de ra ke na to ne ja te ke ba mai de onju ge ke shan da la to ne ene onju ge sheba me da ba ke yo re se na se go ra ke de ma re se go ra onju takba yin takba de ke la pa to yo ma re se go ra takba ke la to ba me ro che takba de ke la to na ke ge wa ge takba le ya gyurdo shin ro ku yo ra te takba le gyurdo re yo ma re se go ra takba ke la to ba me ro me che de mi la che ba me da wa me na ya nga ma zin du ne chima zin bar gyuro se ade mi la che ba me da yo re se mi me yo ne mi la she ja pa je do ne mi la jo me ba ma re se go ra mi ngombo re che na tene se bo na tene te na dram na du za ko be mi te la ko gyuro do yo re se go ra mi la che ba me da wa me na ya nga ji nga ma zin du ne chima zin bar gyuro se tene nga ma thong du za chima de thong chima thong de nga ma thong go re se go ra ta de o te de do sa wa de da rim shi ke wa chen da ta le ke wa me de shi te ba me ro ai chir ste pa ka ba chi do yeah.
This position is then refuted in the brute text where it's stated, because things that arise successively cannot be accepted to arise from a permanent entity, and because it is unstable that a permanent entity depend on conditions. So here, the commentary, Geltetse's commentary explains, says that, it follows that because his earlier and later cognitions are things that arise successively, God's cognition cannot be accepted to arise from a permanent God. Here, once there's this change in the object, that things are going through change, then the cognition of those cannot go through change. It has to, because permanent, or if you want to say static, means that it stays the same, cannot change. And also, but if it's sometimes perceiving change and sometimes not perceiving change, then if it's permanent, it can't like change. It has to always perceive the change or always not perceive the change. So to say permanent in this context, is totally unsuitable. A permanent God cannot, and then there's this other idea, a permanent God cannot generate cognitions in dependence upon conditions, because it is unstable that a permanent entity depend on conditions. Once something depends upon conditions, then it's going to be impermanent. And then furthermore, the example is refuted in saying that if the function of the eye does not change into something dissimilar, it must already apprehend a later object when it apprehends an earlier one. So it would have to be apprehending things that change all at once. If it's an eye, what do you say? A visual perception that doesn't change. Also.
This one.
Teresa.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's how it is. Yeah. Namge panda chamichil mitana chami ni se di ngorata. Niba midaba ni bakaba di ngora. Wanju di midaba ta midaba kasisa. Wanju di midaba rangjungi chami kibu yinsuna ti kagyora. Midaba ni chama rungmaris de kagyomara. Wanju di midaba rangjungi chami kibu yinsuna o ti kagyora. Namge this one. Namge panda chamichil midana chami ni se. Wanju tingi midaba yina yasira. Tatakba mai midaba yisila ruwa. Ngāru koyo tusu chakso nyamso nyon nese. Ngāru koyo tusu sanji chumdende tabu. Ngāru koyo tusu chakso la sokba nyamso nyon ne kolo neba tang. Te nyebu chimba tang machakba samla sokba. Temba la tende kola pemba la sokba. O tende ko penyon dreya yo ma resi kura. Ngāru koyo tusu chakso nyamso nyon ne. Te nyembu chinso kombe chuchi la tueba mayi jise. Ko tangbu ne ko seme kibu yinyi bari. Midakba yinaya ko tangbu ne seme kibu sangma soshingi seme kibu yinyi bari sigora. Tangbu seme kibu mayi bachi. Ane seme kibu chuchi ki chu lepe yonde komba le ten ya seme kibu jura mari sigora. O te seme kibu tongma bebane seme kibu yinyi bala chuse meba chaguri sigora. Thoma mebana chagde na kunji do rangi ringda ngamale keba yino shenas ale onju dingi midaba yina yasa ngar koyo tusu chaso nyamso nyone te nyembu chinso kombe tupji la tuba mayingi thoma mebana chagde na kunji do rangi ringda ngamale keba yino shenas kachik ndoba shekdwa kachik ndoba shekdwa oya de karesne 원주 등이 메다바래 신나 양ар 코에 돼서 근데 차소 냠수뇨 개와 주 득바사 텐데시네 팬에도 주네니 제마고 득바 용용사 개와 숙심부사네 참에 기분 주로 텐데 말해서 당분에 코나 정정하말에 상마 소신게 메다바 기분이 말해서 그거라 신나한테 그지 더버들라고도 어딜라다
Now we're on the section where it's talking about an impermanent God, okay? God being impermanent. There's an assertion. Oh, yeah. This is based on the root text where it says, because he has not been aided in any way, if that God is impermanent, he is not an authority. So if the assertion then is that if that God is impermanent, it is not the case that he has previously experienced attachment, etc., in samsara, and then depended on achieving accustomation to generosity and so forth. As an antidote to that, it is the case that he has arisen beginninglessly from previous homogenes, really. I don't know quite how to pronounce that. Sorry, I didn't look it up. Maybe homogenes as detached and omniscient. It just means this word. Just means similar, he has arisen beginninglessly from going from one similar state to another similar state, where previous and subsequent instances are similar. That's what it's talking about. So the idea being here that there's this impermanent God, but he didn't have to undergo this transformation through having experienced various faults and cyclic existence and then overcoming those faults. He was just always from the beginning, or what do you say, beginninglessly, he's like, what do you say, self-arisen to in a constant, what do you say, succession of similar types over time.
This one. That is part of what you are. The Zawadi Namge Penda Chamichir Midana Chamini said Yungua. Zawadi Namge Penda Chamichi Midana Chaminisa. Take us to the Onju Shukin, and if Ringamale Kebe Kungi Imbala, Tuji Chama never need to tell say. Midana Chaminis ora, Midaba Inayako, Tambunine, and Midaba Samekibule, Midaba Samekibukan. Kiene yongbe tinte take ma rese do rinda ngama le kebe kungi yimbala tupsi ki sama meba nyidu te ti kusen yo ma rese gara namge penda chamichi midana ya chami nyise kusen garese namge penda chamichi rese dera gares ne keje ngama kaya ngar koyo ne gapsu kune nyoma bata namjange choge nambang geja kune nyoma be choge nojada 남장게 추억이 팬다자 가야 많이 배치시거라. 남장게 추억이 kenje 남방게 그냥 너장 팬다자 민배치세. 팬을 겐데요 말해서. 통만 보면 팬을 되면 코든데 탐제 소신경게 임미다 바랑중게 세메기 간데스 교래래서거라. 교생요 말해서거라.
네.
야.
Continue.
야나 라로드게 셰바다라. 강바디니 남베 투지투 차로서 오래 야나디 남아 이게 가서 그 남게 팬다 참이치셔야 돼. 다 이게 교생을 찾는 디그레스 온데 좀씩 교와 전에 딸에 교와 메테치셔야 돼. 교생을 찾네. 남게 팬다서 내자 시기와 말고 딱 말해 봐. 셀이야 찾는 디그레스. 딘들 찾는 디그레스.
The refutation then is as follows. Here, the root verse really comes into the refutation. The root verse being beginning, it seems to be just being the third line of the 9th verse, where it says, because he has not been aided in any way, if that God is impermanent, he is not an authority. Here, so the commentary on that then says as follows. It follows that God is not an authority, proven to be an omniscient being arising from previous homogenes, because never before at any previous samsaric moment has he been harmed or aided in any way by conditions on the side of utter defilement or purification. Here, so then because he couldn't be established as an authority. Here is the point is that he's not an authority because he never was, from the beginning of this time, never was influenced in any way by the either being defiled or having any faults or becoming flawless.
This one. Oh yeah. Then you would to check out Balanisi. The Uju to be
yeah. Sorry, then the final part of that is that alternatively, according to Devendra Buddhi's explanation, these lines should be applied towards proving the previous refutation of permanence. This is the refutation of impermanence. You can use the same kind of explanation to refute permanence.
Oh yeah, Taniba Tupchika was Jikangi Chebabu Yube, Tamja Soshibe, Semekibu, Tamja Soshingi Kungi, Yan Jikangi Chebabu Yube, Tupchiku Yora Konzuga. Oh, the Tupchi de Paka Yora. Oh, Tupchika Watalia, Tupchi Tana to Tembata, Kungi Chebabu Yimbola Semesa Tembache. That Tupchi Tana to Tembatalon Dorne Geshe Nidua. Tambo Tupchi Tana to Tembador Tembate, Tashi Yorandige.
Oh, Dortemba.
Jikangi Nelu Longjunam Churches. Chebabu Longo de Sondes. Dortemba the Gabership, Tambo Dortemba, Jikangi Nelu Longjunam Churches. Chebabu Longo de Sonde, Tatambo Koran Deba de Kudoa. Oh, Jikangi Nelu Longjunam Churches. Ali Tibot Silamna, Kangi Chunju de Palapshana, Sarjon, Malapshana Kamet. Tujika, Tujitana to Tempata, Kunji Chebabu Yimba.
So now we've arrived at the refuting the proofs of such a God's existence. And so this is divided into showing that the proofs are false and showing that the existence of a maker of all knowledge objects is confuted by authority. So showing that the proofs are false has these two parts of a brief demonstration and an extensive explanation. And so we're then starting with this brief demonstration.
Oh yeah, that Tujide, Jikangi Chebabu Yube, Roa, Nelu Lonju, Nam Churches, Chebabu Longo de Santos, Dortembadra. Jidembe ne lu Lonju la Sobanam Churches, Ora. A cost on Gangi, Chebabu, Chiyone, Tig, the Dende Sogo, Churko, Samne, and the Longo de Tan, the Chuba song in this Agora. And Doji Lela Jube Shirise. Doji Lela Jube Shirise. Chawadel Juk, Yan, Tos Chamsha, Yan, Juk, Tende Lega Chigores. Oh, this some Yusanta Lega de Chegudo, some Lega Chigore. Yan Yukshan Tos Yukshagiora. Sanko Doji Lela Jubas. Pena Yarka Shindoli Shindo Kigra. Yakunga Kigmara. Tagana Shiko Kungayang Shinga Kigmare, Yaga Kigre, Tondon to Kigra, Otinashi, Doji Lelan Jubishirse. Kiko Chengachi, Yosanta Chigores, Timanico Ken Kika Tegre, Magina Name Kigmar, Pearl Kabri Kifu, Kabri Kimachude, Chebaji Samutani, Songaji Beta Resegora, Doji Lelan Jubishir, Chiksha. Tene, Tunju said it, Sawada, Tunju Yibji Cheberta. Tenji Bala so what else get it up. Doji Lala Jubesh Tire. Yibki Cabertan Dembeshi, Tunju Yibki Cabertan, Sawadi and Gora. Jikangi Nelu Lonjunam Church and Ashes, Chebabu on the Sunday, Yib Mendra Cabertan Dembesh Ora. Sobda Mendra Yunguda, Combated, Sobda Mendra Yungede, Songedi Samutanjo, did this over, did this over some Kaka Suyara, or Tinashides Ora. Tunju Yibki Caberta, Tenji bala sokba taa sedra, tenji neba. Toji lelan jugbe shi tu shinsa. Shinche dari rechini tisigora. Yako shugri yan to shimashu tegri yan yaja shugora ti kansa di koyaja pa shushin samrutangi dangi chechigora. Yirge kebardan dembe shi pungso shin. Pumbali ya dameda imeda yungudo ati yunga ko pumba songe di samrutani meda chi yungore sigora. Tenji nibe shi trada shinsa. Chawa jengi pento ya chi sogore samni trada shinsa ko shingche ya da tinte sunja nang shiri sigora. Sheba la sogba tale longondo tane cheba bo yoba truba res. O tinte ta ko ne jikdengi cheba bo yobe ta dele sum ko ne te longondo tane songen chi yugore pembo shingdong korangi shingdo ki ma ki tinte che togu mara ko sem yo marwa. O shingdo de shingdo kechu anke ke me sha de cheba bo ju yone chi yore sigora. O te sonza ko tinte cheba bo ju ne te onju re sigora onju kelenge zu onju re sigora. O te samba kelenge ne te che kuda se ra jiden cheba bo kelenge zu rang mingre re ta ne re la gurwa. O te ta te su re se yore sigora.
So first we have the assertion of the followers that have this kind of view, then or the system of thought that has this kind of view, then it starts with worldly abodes, bodies, and enjoyments or resources are preceded by the mind of a maker because they act intermittently like an axe is the first example. The idea though is that it's like crops, okay, that our crops will grow in the summer weather, but not in the winter weather. So that shows that there's some kind of a maker behind them, thinking, well, what shall I do next? This taking a break and having to think about it, and then you can see that. Having thought about it, then the maker is asserting this, it's creating these various things, and so it says like an axe, because somebody is who's chopping wood, then it's an intermittent action because they have to think about what they're going to do next, and so then they have to take a break, and so it shows that there's some thought behind it, and then because they have a particular shape, like there's these like pots, like a pot, for instance, has a certain shape, and then there are different shaped pots, and so then it shows that there's because things have different particular shapes, then there's thought behind it, and because they achieve purposes, purposes like a battle axe. They achieve certain functions that achieve purposes. Dunje nube chir dradashin. Dunje nubechir.
Chawacheke, Josirachini Chidashayag, Dunje Nugurwa, Ko Pento Shasachi Sogodo, some Churjin, Tujutaya Sogodo, some thing of the Dunje Nugua, Chatum se Chutum se Sogo, some Tisugora, Manji Nana. Manji Sogodo, some Sera. This is Panto as a service, Pento
have some function that brings some benefit. So this proves that they're like for instance a table or a glass or medicine. That these are all things that show that there's some thought behind them because they perform some function that's helpful, like that. That's the assertion then. No, Derdrisa.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the correction. Don't do it.
Oh, that one said could because I mock
delay no you should go.
Oh,
That's a should go. That's some judging me with 10 degree. Oh, that the park of what you are. Park of what you are, you know, Shenase. Oh, she long on the songs of Trula, Sanjay Ben, the Bangar Matuba, Tuji, and the Mimberta, Rangusembe Lele, Kiba Sanjay, Tusi Majibe, Chelse. Kerangin Jigding, Lu Longunam Church answer, Chebabu long on the Sunday, Nelly Longu to the Kijigi, lodging on the Sunday Sigi Basagora. Kevar Chebabu lodging on the Sunday. Kijigi, lodging on the Sunday to be in Asagora. A tit to send to Barangal, number Sanjable Tukuma Resagora. Jigding Nelly Longu Kangade, Rangi, you sembe Lele, and Kebat, number killing you Sagora. Lelen Jikan Naso Kesera. Sembe Lady Shebarava Lorva. Oh, tell it Jigdan Nelly Longu Kanga, Chirico, Kijigi. Lochile teni kibare siguneti nambasange be keling gi segora lele teni kibare segora chebabu longo de son chebabu de keware chebabu ke lochingo de son de siguna segora o de nambasange bolo tukuma do tupsin tubare rangi sembe lele teni nelu lonjo kanga kewade keling gi segora sanje ben de banga matuba tuje anda maimbata rangi sembe lele keni keba sanje be tupsin machi be shirse teaching of the Tambo.
The response here then is, if it is, or instead of response, maybe a refutation is what's being put forward. If it is proven in general merely that abodes, bodies, and resources are preceded by a mind, it follows that this is not a correct proof of a syllogism, not already a proven assertion of the Buddhist, because the Buddhist has already proven and not forgotten that abodes and bodies and so forth arise from karmic intentions that are their causes. This is something that just to prove that there must be some kind of, in general, that there's a mind preceding it, then we have these this idea of karmic intention. Sure, we agree with, well, what is karmic intention? Intentional karma, maybe you can say. There's some kind of intention behind any kind of what do you say? There's some kind of a mind and an intention behind any causes that bring about certain results.
Di tsawa digi sigora, dingju yibji chaba tunjimar sobada, daba tuba pema tuba sigora, sen daba tuba sa amda digi kari tubarasana, takba chima, yana, daba tuba yana pema tuba, yana tezum sawarase, woli ya takba chima shenda yose ya tubare sigora, amji te takba chima tuto.
Takba chima tuto, and then the word or here in the root text, root text I don't think I read. It says, because they act intermediately, have a particular shape, and achieve purposes, etc., this involves a proven assertion, or the example is unproven. Alternately, the statement is doubtful. So here, or, it comes into the root text, and a proven assertion, or, and so when it says or here, it means that that there, or refers to the following analysis, that there's that the author has something more to assert.
Yes, oh yeah. Da lo takba shigi tuba yina se takba chima di nindu wa ti shegi wara. Oh, da mari cheba be lo ngondo sonde se lo takba shigi cheba ngondo sonde se tubi yo se na se wara. Lo takba shigi cheba tumna tenzi de pe ma dubarta ngondo takba mesi becherse. Ene cheba be lo ngondo sonde toji lela juk bechere pena teushin. ane ibdan dembeche pena pumba shin sigora ade pumba da teu tozo lo takba ke cheba mare sigora cheba bo sakhen de pumba songe de lo da cheba re samlutan de sogo sam sebere de lo medag ba che ke samlutan sogo ma do lo takba ngon son sogo mare sigora yin de sogo e sambelo medag ba che ngon son ene sogo ma do de sogo sam lo takba che ngon son seba mare sigora te kera pedi chugu mendu sigora
so that refutation is that if it is proven that knowledge objects are produced by a permanent mind, then it follows that the example of that reason is unproven, because it is impossible that there exists a permanent functioning entity. That saying that your examples of the shape of a pot and what other ones? There's the axe. These are if you're going to talk about it, these could not be done by a permanent mind. That it takes a mind that is permanent could not produce anything. So could not produce these impermanent things, and so then it would take an impermanent mind to be able to produce those. Therefore, your examples are not really, your examples don't work.
Yeah. Jigdene le longe nam chuji cheba be longa do sonde yirji chabardan dembe she pena pumba shin silarwa ene pumba de cheba be longa do sonde cheba da yirdan dembe ni de tumgurwa pe tendo ha ko gurwa kansa de pumba de lo takba gongo cheba de tuwe yo mare sigora pumba de pumba songe ge lo takba che ge samrutanu seba marwa sigora pe kan le kiranti tuku mendo se ta da tubje cheni de sura
the assertion by the followers of a creator, of a divine creator, then are saying that these things, the existence of this shape of a pot and so forth, are show that there's some kind of the mind of a creator behind them. But then if the creator is permanent, then these examples are not working, because a permanent mind could not create something.
Ngobo yinge takba yinge chi misi bechir sora lo takba yune lo hina ko ngobo yingure ne taba yene taba dong over yenge lochi ko tinde mesi bechir se ora.
So it's not possible for a permanent mind to produce something that's impermanent. It would have to be, production has to be done through something impermanent. So your examples are not well founded.
Yang nase cheba bo lo shen do son atum nase. Oh, lo takba do son se tugu yo mare. Ane kar sora. Chiri lo tsam do son tugu yo mare se. Tele shenbe ko songenge cheba bo chi kyula tinde sogo sambe lo do son tugu yo re senase gora. Yang na cheba bo shen do son atum nase. De son jigdan jinne lo lonjo la sobo tezo cheba bo shenda chi kansa shenda chi ore. Te gyule ani ngen dinde sogo dinde kogudo samne sobare tugu yo nase gora. Cheba bo shen do son atumna keba mange barsa te keran tadil keba mindu se gora. Karesana yegi kebardan dena doji lela juna cheba bo shenda chi ko sonde gylo ngondo chene sobe kebgu mindu se gora. Kebgu yena da wonju chojen se gora. Kona wonju chojen cheba bo shenda chi lo yo ngondo tane sobar da se gora. Ko doji lela jube chiri iftan dembe chiri se gora. Doji nebe chiri se gora. Disa ta keba mindu se gora.
So cheba bo shen sana de ropa
Mare cheba bo shen sana cheba bo longo do son de medagbe lo member se te kasara. Chiri lo zamgondo mar tagbe lo sana kasara. Chiri lo zamgondo son sana kasara. Ta tele shembe jigden nelo lonjo nam cheba bo songen kansa chi che. Te gyure dinde sogo sambe longo son atuba yina se gora.
Cosa midagbe lo.
Midagbe de ke sego mare. Lo zamgondo son atumna de medo se len japsara. Tagbe longo son atubu se ne di maso. Midagbe longo son se nangbe tupsare chera. Tagbe longo son se petendo tagbe le pombete tagbe le pombe songe kansa de tagbe le se mare se tupsara. Ta tinile shembe cheba bo chi se koran soab kansa shenda chi se te jolange tende zambulin tende sogo longba dinde sogo saya thongen dinde sogo mil longchonge kansa dinde sogo samsa samlutane ngondo sonde ni yibdan dembe se tenje nebe se tende tugu ina se gora ani ta yanda ni keba se de yogora yibdan dena tembe kepse gora kebgo gora te keran de kebgo mindo se toje lelan juna cheba bo shanda chege yöne tege samlutane söbe keba mindu se gora. Ti yöne onju chojen sor. Kora onju cheba bo shagi gora. Onju cheba bo se gora. Ta onju de choje ko soa bo shenda chege onju sengejin dinde sogo samne longon du tane cheba yimbar ta se gora. Ko toje lela jube chere. Ko la yibdan dembe chere sogo yibla sogo. Ko toje nebe chere. Shenda dinde soya toje ne gora. sonzati keba me doa sore. Ta kera tezum re sere. Keba le tezum re, kena tayanda mare, kena kobe tayanda de, tayanda mare, keba le tezum saga doa se. Onju chushin se lamne, ta kera kara segi basi gora. Deso hai? Moya.
So then, alternatively, if it is proven merely that knowledge objects are preceded by another maker, it follows that pervasion is uncertain because since it is not ascertained that creation is specifically by God, the statement is doubtful with regard to logical pervasion. So it's saying that if you're trying to prove that God is the creator, and then you switch and say that it's preceded that these various knowledge objects that have shape and what do you say, the action of what do you say, and sometimes they're working and sometimes they're not working. These, if you sort of switch and say this is done by by another maker, then it certainly won't be suitable as a, trying to prove that God is the maker, because there has to be that God is behind these in all instances. That there has to be pervasion. Logical pervasion.
Yes, oh yeah.
So therefore, there's some kind of doubt here about what's that doubt then enters into it, so that you have that in the root text. The statement is doubtful.
Yana tezum sawa yinse sawa de lenjagdwa. Keran kabal tezum do keran ta de ina tubje chede be kaba. Tezum resa ore kaba me dosi wala. Deba trubam ti trupundo niba dele perma dure. Sumba dele yana tezum sawa yinse kabal tezum. Oh.
Yeah. So it's sort of like there are like three different rejections here, and it's saying that it's not the proper. There's no because first of all, this is something that Buddhists already say, or that it's that your examples don't work, and here there's no logical pervasion. It's sort of refuting it in three different ways.
This one. Yana cheba boshango do song some tumne keba mange barta wonju nige mange ne keba la tezum save chesitin do sa so. Dimashe. Da wonju doje jugba madu chena. The wonju de doje lala jugba de mare sanasiga ko sule jagora. Wonju de doje lala jugba mare chenasiga. Ne jebu drimge jugba tonwe te ngula rimje yoba tubo sa wonju ge jebu drimge tubu doas gora yarga shindo kechugre eni a konga shindo de shindo kechug marwa de kabri chawa de che kabri de chawa maje che te gdo san doje lala jugba raso wonju doje jugba madub chena jebu drimge jugba tonwe te ngula rimje yoba tubo jebu doje rimge kabri ke kabri maje tne ya te ke shanda ke doas the Chebabu Juju Tiga, Cabriti, Cabriti, my Giviseco, Chawachi or a Tuesday Land to be or this I want you, Tuesday Juba Maduchena, Debu Rimkin Juba Tonga, Te Mugula, Rimjin Yoba Tubu, Mugu, Wonju Coranlia, Rimgi, Cabriti, Yakabri, Yagan Debutisha, Kunga Debutisha. Yaga Machi Kunga in the Hungora.
So if you say that it is unproven, that God acts intermediately, we reply, or intermittently, sorry. If you say that it is unproven that God acts intermittently, we reply that since we see that the results occur successively, it is proven that the direct cause of those results must be successive. So, for instance, the idea that crops will grow in the warm weather of summer and not grow in the cold of winter, then what this is, this same pattern then repeats itself, and so then it's not, the results occur successively, and so then the cause must be successive.
Yeah. No, that is today. ane tubje chula takba cheba mado chorwa chila tuchi do tarna sungwe neban jogba misi do sikdo tubje chudele ya takba takje chene dinde chene kenan chokchu togumedo dinde chene kenan keba togumedo dinde chene ane gelda rigido se dinde ba kyan jogro mado tubje chula takba machebe che dinde ta matruba da mange badan geta sungwe gyurwe neban jogba dinde yunguma resigora tubje chula takba cheba mado chora chigla se ta chiglia tu chigdo ta tarna sumbe ga neban jogba misi do se are ta te yang mare ta tarna se chura ta yang da ta tarna ni yora ta tarna de choju matumna ta tarna chiri yore keba matumna ta tarna chiri yore keba chijilo do ngesna tatana chiri gyore madrube tenzi mangi be tenzi geve tenzi se shora tatanda kolya jide ne lo jina che cheba bolo ngodo so de se telia ko takba che ran lu fa kyan sum tangara tende chen nang ba sang gebole chokchu tu mendo tende chen kenan keba ngegi mendo tende chen takba dango bu yimba sig mare keba chinji lo to ngegi to sig yore tatana sumga ko neba chu yora te ko trubje che de kenan de sona Gindrigmedo, this one, Chojutuma, this one, Tindage Tabachormado, Tuche son Matube Tenziredo, Gata Regido, Mange Tenziredo, Tinde, Choachilia. Tawa Machine never sunga Juba Sigma Reswada. Tandangazun never some time the court to Jesha, lost some Zimbayan Digimedose, Tawa lost Zimbayan Digimedose, to Jesha de Tinile Shambe. Sheba position teacher along on the song to the Digimedus to Jesha Tabachani can some chair. Or to Jesha Tabachani can some the Judas at Tatana some became. The Tawa Maja Chorchilia, some work never Juma Resore.
So this next section says there must be a specific analysis of the predicate. It is impossible to undertake a destructive analysis of all three fallacies of the reason in one simultaneous application. Basically this is saying that it's a, what did we have before, a false reason, it's a false or counterfeit reason. That you're coming up with three fallacies. So then, what did you say? Your reasoning does not hold up. It's a what do you say? False inference. So then it's either that there's because of these three. One is say, well, if you say that things appear preceded by a mind, that there's a mind behind them. Well, Buddhists also could agree with that. So it's not something that isn't. We don't believe is generally true. So then, and then also that. Your reasons are not well founded. What do you say? Your examples are not well founded, and then coming up with there's no pervasion because you're sort of stepping out and saying, well, it's another maker that created them, somebody beside God. So then. Your what do you say? Your assertion is not holding up, like that.
Yeah. Tayangda, Tayangda, the Tatana Sigura. Tajikone, Tayangda Skorwa. Tayangda Kone, Teletani Chebasama Ketugura. Tatana Kona Chabasama Trupsa to Truptumara. Tanda Karan de Tatana Regadosigara. Tana Sum Sechura. Matubetaji, Choji Matubetaji. Mangi Betages. Getas Sumyora. Oh, the Anna teacher, the Tisum Kirche Recolia.
Mangi Beta.
Matuba. Matubetaji. Choji Matubetaji. Chaba Mangi Betaji. Chaba Chijilo Dongi Betenji, Galtasore. Matu Betenji, Mangi Betenji, Galetenji. What I abores, Cotima, the tip of the Jagel, the copy. Kangba Pigi.
Oh, is the picture still on? The booch sort of ran into the camera here.
Tata chest, Taya was so. Go like one in the shadow, like one in the shed in the Sakashi chest.
Did she move the picture, Diana? No, it's okay. Dries wants to.
I didn't see I was taking notes.
Yeah.
So anyway, then here the idea is you have to have a correct reason, and what in order to prove an inference, and as proof in an inference, you need a correct reason. But from three different perspectives, then we've shown that your proof is what your reason is counterfeit. You don't have a correct. You have an incorrect reason or a false reason, and so whether it's the first one's showing that this is generally true, and therefore, it's something that it's not something that we can't accept, and then the idea that it's what do you say, that the example is not, it does not stand up, and then there's no pervasion. When you're asserting that there's some other maker, so then it means it's that your what do you say? Your reason proving God is a creator is not true in all instances. That's a.
Oh yeah, I never ever said that. Tuji Tarnado Temba, the Korangi, Jidengi Chebabo Yube, Takoverva, the Tatanam, Tayanda Mara Tatana Rese, Shebatelan Dortem, but the Chinsarche. That gave a Shebatim Gora. Niba Geshe, some Tuji, Kitan Talakase, the rejection Keba, the Tribute, Tensumdo. Tambo Tuji Gitan Talaka Balani, you Gitan Tasum Miron. Give the tragic batas mirrors. Tambo, Trupsi get Trupsi get Telia, Taxation Sigora, Tadela Takbachi and the Carbatalini. You've done them bases, Takorva, Jiganello Longinum Chuji Cheba, Lomondo Sonde, you've done them bases, Takorva. The can I give them dance at it? You've get Tasokona Mirore. You get tragic batas kona miruares or tendency to be ara.
Yipki dun
Tas kona mires. You get tragic batas kona mirose.
Now we're moving to a different section, and we that completed like the a brief explanation, or what does he say here? A brief demonstration showing that the reason is not correct or false. Now this one is an extensive explanation, and it's divided into three parts: a refutation through an analysis of the meaning of the words used in the proof, a refutation, then the second one, refuting other similar arguments through that, and then the aim that is accomplished by those refutations. And so you have a refutation through an analysis of the meaning of the words used in the proof. And this is divided into the unsuitability of the meaning of shape as a reason, and then the unsuitability of the word shape as a reason. So the unsuitability of the meaning of shape as a reason is divided into the fact that the particular shape is unproven in the subject, and the fact that mere shape is uncertain. So then we've arrived at this one, the fact that particular shape is unproven in the subject.
Oh yeah, that tambo if the tenta sumiro adele nidoa. If keberje, jigagi nelu lonjo na chuji chebabu longo do sonde if dan dembe chirchero. Da if keberje, tasu kono chojo tupum dos. If keberje sene kibu chebe if tiswara. Chujungi if. Kibu choa chene chebe if dela. Chujungi if sigra. Desu kanga if kanga kibu sevra. Chozo de tezo. Oh tezulia if keberje. Kibu chebe yip, chujungi yip tasu ko na, digame do sigra. Yip kebarjan ki chokchu tukti, ko na tadala chokchu tukku mara, tayanda rigyo mara. Tayanda chokchu sete tukura, chokchu tukku do sere. Yip sam ko na, kebame yigame do si nira. Yip sam tasu ko na ya, tadala kebame varen do resi ko na. Tatambo, yip kebarjan tasu chokchu matruba di shegwara. Yip kebarjan chokchu matruba ne, so
when it says that the fact that particular shape is unproven in the subject is going to talk about how shape that's created by a being like these flowers and the clock and the glass here in front of me. These are all shapes that are created by some person. So then these are to have a correct reason that it has to be present in the subject, and so here. It's not present in the subject. So, Chokcha Madrup, he translates here as unproven in the subject. And then we have the mere shape is uncertain.
This one?
Dresa.
Oh yeah, this Zamandoa. Some yip the yip keberchere, kibu chebe yibra. Medo yip the yip keberchamara, yip san, kibu chebe marwa, medo subtadik, misuya mara, Koraya ken changura. So much on the yibra. This Sujungi, kibu choa chebalichon yip tela, Sujungi yipsa. Kibu choa chen masube yip telea, so much on the yipsure. So much on, kibu sola, bezu, bezu chebaltan, machuna yip tela. So much on the yipsigra. Give it so much and the Kanga Sujungi Yibrava. Give it so shabe yiptela, Sujungi yipsere. Give him Masube yiptela, so much on the yipsere. Give him Bezu. Kansag so shabe.
There's different kinds of shape. One, the shape, say, of this clay pot, we'll call it. I don't know, it might be plastic, but anyway. The clay pot then is created by someone, okay, and so that's a what we call something that takes human effort, maybe we could say like that, and then something that doesn't take human effort is like the well, it doesn't necessarily have to be human effort. It doesn't take one that takes effort and one that doesn't take effort, like the shape of the flower. There's two different kinds of shape. Oh
yeah. Yip keberchen chokchu matubane suda, yip keberchen tasu kona chokchu tugumare sugara. Rang chingi lobe kibu penji do yeme ki jesun jogba changi yimden so chochen sudu, yip keberchen dili sugara. Karsne rang se yip koran sugara. Chingi lobe kibu penji do ko songenge. Con Gurachene, Sobdam Menda Songen, Gurachengengi, Guratongenke, and a kibu, Penji to you make a chase on Juba Shangi, you na, if the kibuke, Guratonge, Kibu Besu Mena, if the maybe if she ora. Oh, Tilia, if then the if Kabarchan Sigara. Ran Chingi Lobe, Kibu Penji to you make a chase on Juba Shangi, Yim dance of Shoshan, Tip the Shoshan. Church then you nearly longe them kibi long on the don a cheba to be and the my imbartas, or can I eat on them be said, give you chebe, eat the task cover yena, and it the time that Rigmando Sierra. Carisna, Pumbaso, Chindawa, the da Rabdu Tumna, Pumbe if the give you chebe, give yimba, Teshendo, Jigden nearly longe kanga de give you cheba yimba Tumna, Kula Tedar Chesu Papa Kayan Bati, then Ruben Nase. Chicken Jinelu Longe Kanga, Kibi Chebe Yiptiona, Pumbatan Ravayana, and they cannot tum the degree. Then Chicken Nelu Longe Kangalia, Kibi Chebe Yiptioma, Resavora. Yeah, Chugi Titubi Choju Matubi Shelsa. The Chile Tedarches Bobakayan Batene, Ruben Yase. The Kibi Chebe Yipti. Chicken Jinelu Longe to Tukumarese. The Choju Tukumarese or tie and the Mares or. Yeah.
So here we have the following refutation. When we're talking about a particular shape, as it's translated here, it is it's a shape that is created by effort. It means some human, well, a person has done it. So it follows that a shaped object, etc., that is positively and negatively related to the assistance of a person who is its own designer is not a correct reason proving that worldly abodes, bodies, and enjoyments have preceding them the mind of some person. Because if everything exists in that way that a pot does, then some such inference from that that will be unreasonable. But in fact, it is unproven that the reason is present in the subject of that proof. So the so then, by saying that the reason is it is unproven that the reason is present in the subject of the proof of that proof, the subject being so to say that that it's these special objects, then it's not a correct reason to be citing these because the reason it's not a correct reason is because there's what the reason is not what do you say, present in the subject. No.
Oh yeah, that's all the dira. Chinlu yeme chinju chen. Yeso chinda rabtuba. Tele cheso po kanye tele rikwa ni ino sedira. The chinlu yeme sino ko jura. Jura tangenge kansa de yeme sigora kansa de chingilapse. Maraz nam ju chinlab jusha lambe chinlab jusha segmando. Chöji chinlab jusha sana. Chö chen to semlia. Keban dugudo nani chöji chinlab jusha samgora. Oh chingilap de su sigdo. Nan juran dua shonga dugja yimbat member je yaw. Na dugja je ranja de hisi. Achaji cham. Ayo. Chinlab yeme sedra. Ran chingilaba be kibu pen dogje do yebe yibtela ya kibu chebe yipsigora. Ran chingilaba be 기부 팬도지도 매배 입들이야 아니 입삼 시거라 기부 마셔배 입시거라
Yeah, hear something
타양잘라고 매 진로미 진주 전세도
that
사와라고 말다 랑 진길로바 보스는 규로똥겐게 강사직은 규로똥의 수셔배 입이나 기부 제배 입시거라 입 개발 전세가 진로미 유미 진주전 랑 진길로바베 랑 소아베 기부 팬도지도 예바다 매배 제순 죽바cen게 입디 랑 소아베와 랑 규로베 기부 팬도지도 예나 입디요 팬도지도 매나 입디 매배 어떤데 입디 아니 개발 전세더라 기부 제배 예라 진로 예매 진주전 입소 진짜 잡주바서 어디 주중게 입디라 주중게 입디 딘직된 내로 론주 상말로 죽이요나 아니 걔는 직된 내로 론주 남초제 제발로 론도 손데 입단 덴베칠세야 돼 딱다레스 거라 디 죽이요 말레스 거라 리당 신당 또저 기비 제배 입단 댕기 말아 그래서 딘 걔나 초조 두고 말레스 거래 입소 진짜 잡주바 텔레 제소 포 강인바 텔레 리바니 이나사 입 기비 제배 입디 걔나 따서 거제티 콘솔 상기도나 아니 걔나 기비 롱원도 손이 제배를 해야 돼 리그도 오시거라 이나디 직된 내로 론주 강가 기비 제배 입디 댕기 말레스거라 이 초조 두고 메도시거라 야 사와디치 랍산 되그래 도사서
so this one verse then 11 it reads a shaped object etc that is positively and negatively related to a designer. If everything exists in that way, then some inference from that will be reasonable. So the idea is that that if you had this world to have a correct reason for worldly abodes and worldly bodies, the bodies of the world and abodes of the world and the resources of the world. If you had something if you were referring to something that's not like these special shaped objects, something that is not created by effort. These are created by effort, and therefore it doesn't it doesn't apply to the subject that you're trying to prove, and therefore it's not a correct reason. But if you had instead got inferred from the ones that that what do you say? I don't know if I'm saying this clearly, but if you'd say if you made your inference from examples that are, what do you say, not made by effort, right? Not made by effort, like the shape of the flower, for instance. Then that would be that would be a reason that is present in the subject.
This one.
I hope that's okay.